Did you ever watch Inside the Actor's Studio?
I've been to a taping of it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so cool. Who was the guest?
Hugh Laurie.
Oh my gosh, how amazing. Yes, of course. I know you, Lori. Amazing. Okay, so this is inspired by the questions that James Lipton used to ask at the end. These are all pet related, but they're inspired by the Pivot questionnaire, which was on Inside the Actor's Studio. So first question, favorite breed of
Dog or
any
cat?
species? Of any species.
Newfoundland.
Oh, interesting. How come?
Sorry?
How come? What about them do you like?
I absolutely love them. Our dog, until we found out, that basically he was a mix, but he just had a lot of the qualities. He was large, he was long, he was black, he was exceptionally chill, and he loved to swim. He looked like a black Golden. And because of that, they said, and we didn't do like a wisdom test or anything, they said, well, you know what? He's probably part Newf. So I'm like, okay, fine. We treated him as though he was a Newf. He swam in the ocean. If he swam 3 times a week, you could practically see your face in his beautiful coat, because it just got this lovely, he was just the most amazing dog. And then I started meeting a few people here and there who had Newfs, and I learned more about them. And it is my goal to get one. I just haven't done it yet, but I absolutely love them. They're beautiful dogs.
That's awesome. How about your least favorite breed?
Oh, you don't know. You know what? My least favorite breed, I'm not fond of, I will say this, I am not fond of most small dogs. I will say it that way. I love Yorkies, and I'm kind of growing fond of Corgis because my neighbors have Corgis, but in general, just small dogs are just not my thing.
Perfect. Do your pets sleep in your bed? You said that during the show, that your cat sleeps in your bed.
Cat sleeps in the bed, and when the dog was able to, we had to, he left us this world in 2012, and it was funny because we had one dog passed away, and like 3 months later we ended up getting the second dog. So we had, for like 20 years we had dogs, but that dog would jump up when it could, because our bed is a little high, and he was not a jumper. He was not even like a go up on your shoulders, or he just wasn't. And he would go up there occasionally, but the cats do very frequently, and we love that.
Awesome. Who or what wakes you up in the morning?
The cat.
Is it one in particular?
Sloth does. Phantom does sometimes, but Sloth does for the most part. Sloth is an absolutely lovely cat, but he's definitely, when he's on the bed, it's like, phoom. And then he just walks up and he's like, no, I don't want to be here. And he'll like jump over you. He's very funny. The one cat will just walk on you, doesn't care. The other cat, Sloth, will always walk over you. Great cat.
Why Sloth? Was he just like lazy as a kitten?
Yeah, he was a little slow on the uptake. We had one who was like really hyper, who has now passed away. One who was the ringleader, and then Sloth. And Sloth just, you'd say, hey guys, come here. And he'll look at you like, what? Lovely cat.
The light was out in that room.
The light was on, but no one's home. Yeah.
Okay.
He was, wasn't the sharpest, tool in the shed, but he's pretty good. He's a good guy.
All right. What is the most used training commander cue with those cats?
I guess yo doesn't count.
Yeah, it does. Whatever it is. That's the reason I ask, because everybody does what they do with their cats and with their dogs.
That's my Brooklyn coming out. My Brooklyn's like, yo! But now, probably Khmer or Snacks. Because they know their names. They know their names partially because, I will give them Snacks by hand. So if you call one of them, or if you're trying to get his attention, they do know their names. But they're not the kind of cats we yell at either, because they generally are kind of, chill. They've been with us. They're now 13, and they've been with us since they were 4.
Right.
So
that's so sweet. I love that.
They're good boys.
What is the least used training commander cue in your house? Like one that maybe you should be using?
We don't say no very often, again, because who are down, get off the furniture. For the most part, they stay off the furniture. And again, it's not because we said don't do it. It's just it was never a thing. The cats just don't, for the most part, go on, in the living room furniture. For the most part, they don't go on, while we're watching. They just don't.
Do they go on your kitchen counter?
Oh God, no, never.
They're like the holy grail of cats. Amazing. Congratulations.
Well, and like I said, the second dog we had, when we got this dog, he was 3 years old. This dog did not jump on people. This dog did not ever bark at anyone. If he wanted to go up the stairs, he would sit at the base of the stairs and just wait. And if nobody said anything, he would just go, "Oh." And then you would kind of let him go up the stairs. If he was upstairs and he wanted to go out, he would sit at the top of the stairs and do the same thing and just kind of wait till somebody said, okay, you can go down the stairs now. If he wanted to go out in the back, like if we weren't walking and we just said, he would do the same thing. He would sit at the back door. If he was outside and wanted to come in, he would just sit at the door and just wait until somebody let him. He was like the greatest. I'm never going to have a dog as great as that again. It's just not going to happen.
So is it maybe you? So were your toddlers good too? You have 3 children. Were they good toddlers too? No? I was going to say, please, I'm sending my toddler to you if it's just your energy that keeps everybody calm.
I would like to think so, but you know what? I don't know what it is. We've just been very, very lucky. The first cat was a strange little dude, and we adopted him from the shelter. And the first dog was nuts. In fact, I think because of my lack of knowledge, one arm is longer than the other. Because I foolishly, before I realized how bad they were, I let him have I used one of those extension leads, and I swear to you, my right arm is now longer than my left because this dog was just.
Yes, retractable leashes. No, never again, right?
I will tell you, just because you have little ones, my son is 24 and a half, and I can still see a little scar right over here from the retractable leash because the dog went around the kid.
No. We do not use those. I am for outlawing those completely. I agree. If you follow me on Facebook, you know that I, excuse the expression, bitch about these leashes on a regular basis.
Yes. And you know what? I like I said, the difference between the first dog and the second dog walked next to me, and he like I said, he was trained. He walked next to me. We had one of those nice 6-foot leads. He never strained. He never pulled. And it was funny because we had a very big snowfall one year. It was like 3.5 feet in a day. And the coolest thing was everybody was snowed in. Nobody could get out. I got out, and just like when we go to the dog beach, I didn't put a leash on him because no one else was there. And oddly enough, our street got plowed and other streets didn't. So again, my husband and my sons plowed out a little route for us to get from the house to the road. So the dog and I would go out, and he was off leash the whole time. And we would walk up and down, and we would walk down to there's a main road a few hundred feet away. We went onto the main road, dog, no leash. Dog would go like 50 feet maybe and turn around, check it, I was there. And if he didn't, if he was worried, he'd come back walking towards me, but he'd never go further than that. And that's just the way the dog always was. Like I said, I'm never going to have a dog that's that good.
Well, let me tell you something. That study about the dogs and the the pet parent personality, like it did say, like if the pet parent is neurotic and uptight, then the dog will be.
The first one was. That sounds something. Maybe I just chilled between the first.
Yeah, maybe you chilled out, but I mean, I'm definitely to blame for. I just get overwhelmed when there's strangers around and my dogs are there or children are around. I just get like really amped up, and I think that they do as well. You
may find this as well. Our dog is the second dog, very, very interesting. There were only 2 people who ever came into our house whom that dog was not fond of. The first one was a child who did something, and we told my son he could not play with this person again.
Because of the way he interacted with your dog?
The dog did not like this male child. The dog just made it very clear that he did not like this boy. And I'm like, that's interesting. But I remembered it. I figured, okay, well, dog be nice. He didn't bite him or anything. He just kind of, you got the vibe. And then the second one was another child who my daughter basically decided she just didn't like this person. She wasn't going to play with her. And I just found it very interesting that the dog kind of knew ahead of time that these were two kids who were just not the same as my kids. And like I said, they were the only two that my dog ever, obviously disliked.
Yeah, no, I trust dogs 100% when it comes to their people's energy. I 100% trust dogs, cats, whatever animal. Truly, like a bird, I'd trust anybody.
Yeah, there's like a vibe. There's something there that they feel, and I'm totally. I have no problem. It's like, I hate to say it, it's like with the pets who can sometimes figure out if somebody's going to have like a seizure, or if their blood sugar's high, things like that. I think there's something there going on with personalities as well.
Agreed. What pet related noise do you love?
Cats purring.
Oh, the best.
The other day, I actually, like I said, I have a room behind me as I work. And the other day there was, all I could hear was purring. And I was like, where is this from? And it turns out that there was a cat had come into the room. Like, I thought the door was closed, but the cat had come into the room and was just sitting in an unusual spot, just sitting purring. And I said something because there's another room right behind me, and both doors are open. And even he was like, my son, he was like, where is he?
It's so loud
and so lovely. Yeah.
What pet related noise do you hate?
There's two of them. Obviously growling. I don't like growling, especially from large dogs. But the other thing is when cats are taking a bath. I can't stand that noise.
The licking?
Yes. It just can be a little too much sometimes, especially if, like you're sitting there and they're doing it like 3 feet from you.
And they're getting really into it. I hear that. What pet related profession, other than your kind of sort of in the pet profession, would you want to try one day? Like, would you find interesting to do?
Probably one of two things: either working at a doggy daycare or dog walking, because I have the highest respect for people who do it and do it consistently. And I think it would just be interesting, going in, grabbing somebody, making sure they're in good physical health, taking them for a walk, taking them for a wander, taking them for a hike, maybe taking them to the beach. Yep. I always thought that would be nice. Again, I don't know if I'd want to do it long term, right? But I would like to.
You want to do it spring, maybe some of summer and fall. Like, that's the only time you want to do it, because really it's therapeutic and it's wonderful. And I enjoyed 90% of the time that I was dog walking, but those icy days are terrifying.
I can imagine them being a lot. I could definitely imagine them
the super hot days with mosquitoes all over you. Not the best.
Yeah, not the best.
Winter was the worst. I mean, I love summer, so like summer was fine, but winter was rough.
I like the winter. I really do like the winter. Really? But that's kind of what I'm talking about. That I like that what I do. I have a little bit of the ability to say, okay, like you know what? I'm staying inside today. Like, I'm not going out for whatever reason. And that's one of the things I think about pet sitters. Just amazes me and makes me think, how great y'all are. Because the consistency factor that you have to have, also dealing with people who are not people so much as the pets who are in poor health, and knowing what to do if, I hate to say this, I've heard several stories where an elderly person left the cat in the care of the pet sitter and said, get this dog or cat to my family. Yep. And to me, that's just it's lovely, but it's such a burden. And I just, like I said, I have the utmost respect for people who do it. I think I'm too inconsistent.
The hardest part probably for me was when we had to put pets down in the absence of their pet parents.
Oh, that would be awful.
It was really, really emotionally draining, because it wasn't your pet. So it wasn't like you were losing your pet, but you were so conflicted because it wasn't your decision. The pet parent was making it from wherever they were. Yes. But you felt like you hoped that they never thought that you didn't do enough for the pet. And of course you were there. I was there for the pet, in the room when the pet passed and holding the pet and crying over the pet and connecting with the pet.
Yes.
But at the same time, you worry that the pet parent might always think like, did the pet sitter not do enough, or did the pet sitter not?
I'd worry about that until my dying day. You know,
Yeah.
did I do enough? I mean, I recently, when our cat passed away, my husband and my son brought him to the vet while I was transporting my daughter to an event. And, you know, to get that phone call was just very sad.
Exactly. It's always so hard, and that's a tough place to be kind of in the middle of. Like, you really wish that the pet parent was there for them. For whatever reason, they can't be, so you step in and you do what you can, but it's always hard. It really is. What pet related profession would you never want to have?
Most likely a groomer. Again, utmost respect, because I've used them and they're usually wonderful. But some of these pets who come in, I just, between that and dealing with the owners and getting the cut wrong, and, you know, having to deal with different cuts for different breeds.
Yes.
I think that would be a lot to keep track of. And sometimes it would be very hard to have to say to your coworkers, oh my goodness, I can't believe this dog or cat was in such bad shape.
Yes.
You know, and not let that come out on the, the pet owner. I think that would be hard to keep that all to yourself, knowing that, you know, somebody caused this, the animal to be in pain, or to look bad, or to have a really silly cut, or why did they dye this cat, you know, this dog's hair pink, things like that. I just,
Well, I interviewed a groomer. I'll put the link up here for those watching. And it was really fun, but I learned that there are 36 or 38 different styles of poodle.
wow.
So they have to know what style of poodle the poodle person's asking for.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying, is like, you know, when you hear about the lion cut or this, that, and also, like I said, for a while there, I was doing some research on Newfoundland dogs. And to see the discussions of, should I shave them for the summer? Oh, that just made me just want to just, oh.
I know. I'm not big.
People just don't understand, or if they do, they don't care. They just want to shave the dogs more for their convenience than the dogs. They sit there and they go, oh, well, you know what? He can't deal because we're in a hot environment. Well, you know what? Let the dog stay in the house most of the time. Put up the air conditioner. Put on a sweater.
Yeah, exactly. Agreed. I see that a lot in places like Miami and Texas, where it's super hot, but then people still buy like Siberian Huskies, and you're like,
yes.
Did you think at any moment in time that you were planning on having an outdoor dog in your yard, and it's a Siberian Husky, and it gets to 110 degrees here in the summer? Like, what were you thinking? Like, get yourself a Chihuahua, which is from this area, like, for God's sakes. Or anything with a short coat.
I gotta tell you, I read this beautiful story, book called Free Days with George. And if anybody's listening or watching, if you ever have a chance, it's a really, really nice book. But one of the things that happens in it's a man who adopts a Newfoundland dog, and he gets transferred to California. And that's actually one of the things that he's worrying about, until he realizes his dog Noofs know how to swim.
Yeah.
So that was kind of his thing. So in as much as he kept the dog in the house most of the time, he made sure to get the dog out to go swimming as much as possible. Awesome. And, you know, that's obviously one way to alleviate it. But quite frankly, if you're in the middle of a city and you're nowhere, you know, you don't have access to that.
Last question. If the Rainbow Bridge exists, who is the first pet to greet you when you arrive?
Max.
Is that the perfect dog?
Cat. Max was a great cat. He had a definite opinion, and absolutely loved him. And then it would be Bridget, my first doggie, and then definitely Comet. Comet, yes, named after the dog on Full House. Comet was the one I talk about the most. He's just the kind of, I mean, he took like 6 months to actually look us in the eye from the time that we got him. But once he did, you know, you just get the feeling that no matter what, like he did not ever sit with my husband. He didn't hang out with my husband, but for whatever reason, my husband said something and that dog was like,
yes, sir.
Yeah. Didn't, you know, and he was just lovely. He was just lovely. And like I said, it'd probably be Max and then Comet and then Bridget.
Oh, well, all three of them, they're probably prancing around together playing. I don't know. Did any of the cats like water?
In going into water, that I don't know. That I would think not. It's just like I said, the first dog had no interest in it, and because we're by the beach, I live by the beach.
Yeah.
But Comet, boy, when Comet found out, we literally went to the beach when we first got him. We went to the dog beach. We're walking straight, and the dog goes right into the water. Mind you, we didn't have a name for this dog yet.
Oh my goodness.
The dog goes in, swims in the water. We're like, dog,
come back, dog.
Back. Remember me? We got you like 2 days ago. Hello?
How scary,
it was a tad scary. And also, in case anyone's wondering, if you have leather seats in your car and your dog is wet from the ocean, don't, cover your seats. Get a permanent cover for your seat. Leather seats really don't do well constantly being sat on by a dog with salt water on its coat.
Yeah, you have to
tell you that it is not a good combination. I can tell you from personal experience.
Oh no, those poor seats. Well, you can always tell a water loving dog. I had a pool party for dogs like with my business years and years ago because one of my employees had a pool, and at the end of the season she was like, let's have a doggy pool party. And there was a 6-month-old golden retriever who had never seen a pool before in his life, and that dog ran from the entrance of the house or the yard across the yard past all the other dogs and jumped right into the pool. His owners were like, he's never been in a pool, he's never seen a pool. Well, he knew exactly what that was because he went swimming. He wouldn't get out until they had to force him home.
Well, that was the thing in that book that I was talking about. He goes there and literally they arrive in town, they find the apartment, and he tells his friend, why don't you chill out for a bit? I'm just gonna take the dog for a walk. Takes the dog for a walk, goes to the beach, and out of nowhere, the dog just takes off. Again, as far as he knew, the dog had never, because he adopted the dog, was I think an adult, had never seen water before. The dog just takes off and tries to save some of the surfers. Like literally putting his mouth on the arm of one of like the younger guys and pulls him off the surfboard and tries to pull him into the beach.
Designated canine lifeguard. That's awesome.
Yep.
That is so cool.
Yep. Like
I need to check out that book.
It's a great book. It's not very long, but it makes you feel really good.
Sounds super entertaining. So really quickly, how was Inside the Actors Studio? Did you enjoy it?
I absolutely loved it. I was really into it was early on in the run of the TV show House.
Yes,
and,
I remember, and I loved that show.
And you know what? I had seen Hugh Laurie in many things for about, I don't know, however many, 15 years prior to this, because he had been in some shows that I like Blackadder, Fry and Laurie. He did a lot with comedy skits with Stephen Fry. And I was just really curious because first of all, the American accent was really getting on my nerves. But
I had no idea that it was an American accent. I thought he was an American actor until I realized he was Australian. Like somebody told me he was Australian, and then I was like,
he's not. He's British.
British. Oh, I thought he was Australian. Okay, so somebody told me he was not American, and I was like, what?
Well, like I said, if you ever see the old British sitcoms, one of them was called, well, there's a series of them, but they were all called Blackadder, Adder. He was in those. He was also in, like I said, the Best of Fry and Laurie. Best of Fry and Laurie. And he's been in some other things. And he was also a stage actor. So, like I said, it took me a while to get used to the American accent.
Got it.
And he's absolutely amazing. But I liked it because the show was oddly similar to the way he was on stage.
Yeah.
He's very I don't want to say pull up with the stereotypes, but he was quiet. He's exceptionally bright. Very good piano. He plays piano, plays jazz and classical piano.
Nice.
But it was a nice situation. You know, we got tickets and we had to wait outside. You have to wait on the line. They tell you what to wear, where you can sit. It was very good. It was very good.
That is so cool. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. I used to watch it as a kid, and I loved the end of it where I would find out like every actor or like director's favorite curse word. That was like my favorite part as a kid, you know?
James Lipton.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking your time to hang out with me today. I so enjoyed getting to know you a little bit better. And I will email you all the details and the links whenever this is ready to go live. But thank you again.
Cool.
I so enjoyed it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Take care. It was nice to talk to you again.
Likewise.
And best wishes with this and everything. It's this is a fun adventure, and I hope you have a great time.